Thanks everyone for joining my tech talk about the importance of creativity in software testing 2.0. For those who do not know me, my name is Cristina Potop and I'm from Cluj-Napoca studio in Romania. I've been a QA at Cognizant Softvision for over 3 years now. I've started writing articles on the blog, I think about a year ago. My first article was entitled Mythbusters QA Edition, and I continued with the importance of creativity in software testing. I like to refer to myself as a full-time tester and part-time artist because I like to paint and craft in my spare time. But to be honest, I've given it a second thought and I've realized that creative testing can be seen as a form of art as well, where the product, the app which you are testing is your canvas, the knowledge is your paintbrush, and the creativity is the color palette you use in order to create your work of art. Testing is a time-consuming process. It requires attention, responsibility, deep knowledge of the app, and of course, a good understanding of user experience. Albert Einstein said, creativity is intelligence having fun. If we analyze the keywords used by Albert Einstein, everything will start to make sense, believe me. So, creativity is inventiveness, right? It means the use of imagination or original ideas in order to create something, while intelligence refers to the ability to acquire and apply knowledge and skills. In order to be a good QA, creativity is a must in the skill set alongside with an outside-the-box mindset. What better way to talk about creativity than to have a creativity test? Don't worry guys, you won't get marks on this. It's just a fun way to start the presentation. So we will have the following materials: a candle, a box of thumbtacks, and a book of matches, sorry. Your task will be to fix the lit candle to the wall so that it will not drip wax onto the table below. You will have time to think about this until the end of the presentation and provide your answer in the Q&A section at the end of the presentation. So, how can you become more creative in your professional work? We as QAs are the last filter before the app reaches the end user. This is something that you always have to keep in mind. Thomas D. said that creativeness is the ability to see relationships where none exist. Each and every one of us perceives the app in a different way. We can find hidden patterns or make connections between seemingly unrelated things. Some of us are more creative than others, but that doesn't mean this can be improved upon, because creativity can be developed in time, but it requires passion and commitment because it is the first phase towards innovation. The first thing you can do is to put yourself in the user's shoes when testing an app. Forget about the requirements, the test cases, just go with the flow and do as a normal user would do. The second thing is to simply explore and experiment with different approaches, question assumption, and use your creativity when testing. The third thing would be to have exploratory testing sessions, for example. This is a great way to expand the imagination and is fun too. Creativity in day-to-day processes. As I mentioned before, the test parties, I'm going to give you more details about this. So test parties are gatherings of QAs to smoke test the areas where new features have been implemented in order to find issues that were left undiscovered. During these sessions, usually creativity emerges because everybody sees things differently, as I said before, and after connecting the dots, different patterns are formed. It's fun, it's a practical way of testing. I recommend it to everybody. Usually all the new issues that are discovered during the test parties are tracked and are further investigated, after the test party is over. Ad hoc testing, I'm gonna give you more information about this as well. This is an informal type of testing with the aim to break the system. It does not require any documentation, planning, or process to be followed and can be done by anybody. So you can simply go ahead and stop somebody on the street, give them the phone with the app, and ask them to go through it and see what they discover. There is a disadvantage here, the fact that it's done by individuals with no testing background. Usually the issues that are discovered are hard to reproduce because we do not have exact steps or requirements mapped to a test case. Exploratory testing is a black box testing technique, which is performed as well without planning and documentation, but it's more complex because it requires knowledge in testing and in the app as well. Here, the better the tester skills, the more fruitful the session will become. So this is where creativity and imagination come into play big time. If you compare the two of them, in contrast to ad hoc testing, during exploratory testing, the purpose is to find bugs and track the questions raised and issues found. Since the testing is done by individuals that have knowledge in this field, the log reports can be reproduced and the steps determined. These exploratory testing sessions usually encourage creativity and intuition. It's a great opportunity to brainstorm with your colleagues and analyze the issues discovered together. During these sessions, usually new test cases are developed because edge cases are discovered. In general, creative people can discover edge cases when testing. In this way, they will improve the quality of the product, and they usually have the ability to look at all sides of the issues and quickly identify the root cause. I've said it before, I will say it again. Guys, put yourself in the user's shoes. This is the best way to test an app. I will give you an example of creativity. You can try to go through the app and think about different age ranges. Like think like a 20-year-old, a 35-year-old, or a 60-year-old person while you are testing. By doing this, you will cover several types of personalities and tendencies. For example, you know that young persons could lack patience and they try to do several things at the same time. So try to put that in practice when you are testing. A middle-aged person would try to reach their goal using as few steps as possible, while older person would have difficulties reading small fonts or could enter details more slowly. And this is, for example, where accessibility comes into play. Why aren't adults as creative as children? Remember when we were kids and we used to play with our imaginary friends, bake imaginary cookies in the imaginary oven, or play detective to solve mysteries. But time flew by and we grew up and we were taught to become good workers, follow instructions, and look at the practical side of life. Creativity became buried under a pile of regulations and rules. And let's face it, the biggest problem with modern day society is stress. By having so much to cram into our days, work, education, family, many of us usually sacrifice sleep in order to benefit from more hours in the waking day. Under these circumstances, ask yourself, how can you find creativity again? Here are 5 habits that can be used in order to embrace in order to improve creativity. The first one would be sleep well, guys. This is probably the most important one. Why? Well, because during deep sleep, the brain usually sorts out all the information that we gather during the day, and that is very important in order to be focused and creative at the same time. The second one is debate. Ask yourself when you are testing if the app's behavior is okay, is it user friendly, will the user enjoy it, or will he delete it after the first use? The third one would be to feed your brain with new information whenever you can. Educate yourself by improving your technical knowledge. You can use, for example, courses from Udemy or find interesting articles, and all of these could feed your brain. The fourth one would be to experiment and explore the vast land of testing. Leave no corner of the app unscattered. Simply take the app, go through it, go to every flow that you could possibly think of, and see if everything is working as you would expect it. The last but not least, try another creative activity. Find something you are passionate about. I don't know, some of you like singing or painting. You can go hiking if you like nature, or learn to play an instrument. These are all very important because this way, the creative activity that you do on your spare time help you in order to, let's just say, improve your professional life as well. Surviving the pandemic thanks to creativity. The truth is that extraordinary times call for extraordinary measures. Let's face it, we were not ready for this. In the current context of worldwide pandemic, we also ourselves outside of the comfort zone. Sometimes we find it hard to focus, routine and boredom sets in, but think of it like this. If you step outside of your comfort zone, remember that that is where the magic happens, believe me. And if you look at the things on the bright side, it is the perfect time to embrace change. If you light that spark of creativity in you, you will soon see it burn brightly in your professional life as well. For example, during the lockdown, I started my own vegetable garden. I found it funny and interesting to have the vegetables I like grown in my own garden with my own hands. Then I tried to build something from wood that we have cut out from our garden. And last but not least, I started painting a lot more. I find all of these extra activities very helpful because not only that they feed your heart and your soul, they feed your brain as well. As a conclusion, I would like to say that if you have the opportunity, don't hesitate when it comes to getting outside of your comfort zone. Be curious. It's so fun to have those aha moments when you are finding bugs. Break the app, brainstorm with your colleagues, because creativity is not only important, but fun too. Thank you everyone for watching. If you have any questions, please put them in the Q&A section. And besides that, if you found the answer to the creativity test, please provide your answer as well. Thank you. Creativity while testing is okay. I think one of the most important things, but creativity can go too much out of the box sometimes and could come with too much improvement even when the requirements are implemented, and this can be a problem. Some companies don't like this kind of mindset. Well, that is true, but usually they enjoy if the QAs are creative, because let's face it, you are the person that knows the app better than anybody. You go through it all day, every day. So if there is something that wasn't in the requirements and you came across a situation, I think the client will enjoy your input here. And that is from my personal experience. I will say that again. So we have the following materials: a candle, a box of thumbtacks, and a book of matches. And your task is to fix the lit candle to the wall so that it will not drip wax onto the table below. Looks like somebody found a great answer here. So Livia says that if you pin the box from the matches to the wall and then place the candle in it, well, it's similar, but it's not quite the correct answer. You need to use a box, but it's not the book of matches. I'll give you a hint here. So I think it is time for us to show the answer to this riddle. Um, oh, so we got a few answers here. Somebody says that you place the thumbtack box under the candle. Yeah, so the correct answer is that you place the candle into the thumbtack box and you pin it to the wall, and this way it will not drip. Um, the the candle will not drip below on the table. I'm going to show you the answer as well. Here's the creativity test solution. I hope you guys enjoyed it. This was my first rodeo in the Programmers Week. I will probably join Programmers Week next year as well, because it is a very fun way of knowledge sharing, and I encourage each and every one of you guys to do it. Hope you guys enjoyed it as well. Have a nice day. See you next time.